So I was having a discussion, or a conversation rather, with my guys about the power of the labia minora, right? And I posed a very hypothetical question to them. I asked them that if they could acquire the wealth of Jeff Bezos overnight, currently worth about $175 billion for clarity, if you could acquire that type of wealth, but the caveat is that you can never again receive any type of gratification from a woman or a female ever again, so long as you live, would you still take the money? And to my surprise, one of my guys said that he wouldn't do it. One of the homies said he wouldn't do it. He would not take the money. That the vulva was worth more than $175 billion. For good measure, now he asked his wife as well, okay? And to our group chat's surprise, she also said that she would decline the money. 2023 was the year of L's for men in the entertainment business. And it doesn't matter if you're in the movie, film industry, the music industry, directors, producers, artists, coaches. No one has been safe since Cassie jumped out into the media space with accusations against Sean P. Diddy Combs back in November of 2023. That one case sparked an outpouring from women all over, coming forth to air out their grievances with men from the entertainment industry. And The Game, real name Jayceon Taylor, is just one of the latest victims on the receiving end of such allegations. The accuser happens to be a young lady named Priscilla Rainey, and apparently she's someone who is already known to the game, as well known to the game, and she had already won a previous assault case against him back in 2016. And this is why I stress on my channel the power and importance of penile discipline. How many more times do we have to see men go down and be finessed out of a bag at the hands and sinister intent of a woman before these dudes begin to learn to protect themselves? Why are these men who are worth several millions of dollars not taking the necessary steps to protect their legacy or financial wealth? So this chick, Priscilla Rainey, if you look her up, you'll be hard-pressed to find any information on her. Her highlight is that she was a contestant on the dating show called She's Got Game. And before that, she was virtually as unknown as you and I. Her bio is going to read some bullshit like she moved to Miami, started working as a quote-unquote entrepreneur, yada yada. Don't they all? So anyway, she comes onto the show to compete against other women publicly for the affections of the rapper, The Game. Let's just stop right there. Are we really going to act like these type of women, the type of women that join these types of shows are usually willing to degrade themselves and do whatever they can to obtain notoriety and clout? Are we really going to act like they're above that? Can we just be real? Or do y'all want me to bullshit with y'all and play protector like all these other clowns? This chick joined a TV show to compete against other women in order to eventually be able to be bust down by The Game. Those are the facts. That's what it was. And because men do not have penile discipline, they treat the vagina that is attached to these types of women like gold. And they'll do anything for it, including sacrifice years of hard work and financial fortune. So let's get to it. What happened the first time? Well, the first case is the age-old story of a typical come-up off of a dumb, horny entertainer. And that is exactly what happened with The Game the first time. But I'm going to read the article so that we're all on the same page here. This particular event, again, happened back in 2016. So at some point, this goofy chick agrees to go on a date with The Game, except she thinks they're meeting at a restaurant in Chicago where there's going to be a production crew to tape the date for the show. But when she gets there, There's no production team. There's no camera crew. No, maybe it's Maybelline makeup staff. There's no one there but the game and hard waiting for her. So what does she do? Does she leave? No, absolutely not. She stays. And she says that the game shows up to the restaurant high and drunk. By the way, it's clear that he had nobody in his corner advising him to go home and sleep it off because he was about to do something extremely stupid. See what I tell you, men, about penile discipline and why it's important to your life? So anyway, he shows up basically in an animal mode, ready to bust her down right there on the spot because he reaches his hand up under her dress and starts rubbing her special spots, right? Which the article also says he was rubbing and touching bare skin. Now let me ask you all something. Ladies, feel free to chime in defense of yet another one of your questionable representatives. If you hadn't intended on doing anything or having any relations with the guy you're agreeing to go on a date with, what is the reason you would show up to the date with absolutely no type of underwear on? Can one of you please explain it to me in the comments? I'll be waiting for a response, but I won't hold my breath, all right? So Priscilla alleges the assault takes place, and we don't know how much of what happened directly after, but it's assumed she left, right? And later, she ends up filing documents against Game, alleging assault and seeking a $10 million payday in the suit. Let's be honest. At this point, it's the biggest thing that's ever happened to her. It's the greatest opportunity she'll ever have to get rich. So she takes it all the way. Time to finesse this fool. She's taking it all the way to the bank. So it goes to court. And she wins the case because according to the Game, he was out of town and couldn't make it. So he's basically saying she won on some defendant didn't show up type shit. And as a result, she's awarded over $7 million. $7,130,100 to be exact. The Game chooses to respond on social media to this, once again, playing the perfect fool, where he basically says that fans should shut up and no one should believe that she actually won $10 million against him, blah, blah, blah. Then he goes on to boldly claim that she wouldn't get a dime of his money even though she won the lawsuit, and that his lawyers would respond. Well, that turned out to be a lie. If you want to know to what extent a woman can destroy your life and have you on the other end of a swallowing.
Swallowed up. Have you ever been swallowed up? Have you gone through a time of swallowing?
Then pay attention. This is what happens when you have nothing but gold diggers, sharks, and piranhas around you, when you're too stupid to realize you're swimming around in blood-infested waters. Not only did she win the $7.1 million lawsuit against the Game, but because he did not produce the cash to pay her, she was granted ownership of his independent record label, Prolific Records, as well as any royalties from his album, Born to Rap, which meant that she was effectively awarded full control over any salary the Game was receiving through his imprint. Don't believe me? Let's look at an excerpt from the official documents obtained. It says, any and all rights, title, and interest of defendant in any money, property, or payments due to the defendant from L.A. Prolific in the form of, among other things, commission, royalties, contract receivables, deferred compensation, income, wages, payroll, salary, and accounts receivable. Jesus Christ. Failure by defendant to comply with this order may subject him to contempt of court proceedings. In other words, ladies and gentlemen, if you didn't catch all of that,
congratulations, you played yourself.
Now, the interesting thing is that the Game, his manager, Wack 100, responded to this on Instagram, of course, because keeping the people that follow you in the loop is top priority, right? But Wack 100 takes to the internet and basically says all that is a lie. The court documents are a lie, that he has full control over the game's royalties, earnings, etc., right? In addition to seizing all of his income, though, she is also awarded the $2,176 from his Cash App that the judge seized and took to pay out to Rainey. But she wasn't done. In 2021, she filed charges against the game, alleging that he was hiding his money and assets from her in an attempt to avoid giving up property as part of her payment. She said that the game and his manager, Wack 100, conspired together by transferring the game's assets to Wack 100 and various shell companies under their control. Now, Wack 100 testified in court, saying that the transfer was to settle a debt that the game owed him. And of course, what do you know? The judge didn't buy that shit. And now Rainey is free to pursue any and all assets in the rapper's possession until the debt has been fully paid. To date, she says that she has only been paid out $500,000 from the game. And she has no plans of stopping until she's paid every dime. Congratulations to the game. You've empowered yet another broke boss queen to ransack your empire as she sees fit, while you are forced to play hide-and-seek games with the money you worked so hard to obtain. Police and the feds are carrying out surveillance orders on you and your property, and the likelihood of this going away is about the same as Magic Johnson getting rid of that, you know what he got. Moral of the story here, in case it hasn't been plainly spelled out for you by now, is trust no one. Guard and protect your wealth with your life. And if you're a multimillionaire with tons of money to lose, don't even trust yourself. Too many of these women are the same headache in a different body. Later.
We don't love ramen.
Yeah.